In the Central Asian Republic of Kyrgyzstan, livestock farmers are working to reduce the environmental impact of their herds. Much of the country's land is pasture for its nearly 8 million cattle, sheep and goats. However, unsustainable grazing practices have led to land degradation and the loss of biodiversity. To learn how farmers are adapting, Italian chef and human rights activist Walter el Nagar travelled to the Isikul region to spend a day with Dinara and her family, members of a local sheep farming cooperative.
This fried dough with butter reminds me of my grandmother.
The Jaiji Agriculture Cooperative raises merino sheep, renowned for their high-quality wool. But now climate change is becoming an ever-present threat to their livelihood.
Климаттар башкача болчу да, күн жылуу, мезгил менен болчу да, мезгилдер жайында жайдай, кышында кыштай болуп өтчү. Азыркы учурда болсо климаттар бат эле кургакчылык болуп кетет, күн тийип.
Dinara shows Walter how they process wool, using methods passed down through generations. She explains that while these traditional practices remain important, the cooperative embraces modern techniques to adapt to the increasingly unpredictable weather. This year, heavy rains led to floods and landslides, and now Dinara's husband is anxious about the early arrival of cold weather.
Түндө дагы бүгүн 10 сентябрь түндө тоо башларында аябай кар жаап салды. Бул кардын эрте жаалышы сезилип атат. Эми жайлоодогу малдарга дагы чоң зыяны бар да.
Their barley, essential for feeding the sheep, is at risk. If an early freeze hits, the entire harvest could be lost. The cooperative grows barley as part of an optimized feed formula developed through the Access to Markets project funded by the International Fund for Agricultural Development, or IFAD. By blending grains and pulses, cooperatives across Kyrgyzstan are improving livestock health and productivity while reducing waste. At the National Research Institute of Animal Industries and Pastures, scientists refine these feed mixtures and use artificial insemination and selective breeding to improve livestock efficiency. One example is the Arashan breed, which produces about 4 times more meat than traditional sheep. These practices enable farmers to raise fewer animals while earning higher incomes, easing the pressure on feed resources and the environment.
Maybe they're going to find a way to find a balance in between their way of life, which can be seen as traditional, and modernity, and by doing that being fair to their own environment, which is facing, like everywhere else, big challenge.
With funding from IFAD, cooperatives receive modern equipment, such as this manure spreader, to fertilize the land without using chemicals. They also underwent training on water conservation techniques and pasture rotation to prevent overgrazing, as the project director, Tamchirek Tulev, explains.
We proposed our farmers different technologies, starting from the pasture using and to the feeding and change of breeding. As a result, their production ability is improving around 30%.
Back at home, Dinara shares her family's tradition of cooking beshbamak, a Kyrgyz dish of mutton and noodles. Together they slowly boil the mutton for hours before adding homemade noodles and a peppery onion sauce.
It may seem easy to just chop some onion or to roll some dough to make some noodles, but the preparation of the dish itself, it's a moment of celebration of a group of people, in this case family. By witnessing these heroic people here fighting climate change, the true meaning of it that I got is that in fact we are all in the same fight right now. Right now there is one front, and it's all of us. It's not just some faraway farmer, and we really need to get together and maybe learn from them how to be resilient and keep fighting and for their own good and for our own good.